Hello, friends. How are you? It's December, and I bet you're all very excited getting ready for Christmas. La Navidad. Well, Miss Allie and I thought that you would enjoy this book called Truffles Christmas by Anna Curry. It's a story about a mouse family, Los Ratoncitos. I think Whisper likes this book. Truffles Christmas by Anna Curry. Christmas was coming. All the little mice had finished their letters to Santa. All that is, except for Truffle. He couldn't decide what he wanted. I'd really love a hula hoop. But I wish we had a blanket, a nice new blanket without any holes. Then again, "You'll have to decide," said Emmeline, his big sister, who always knew best, "or Santa won't know what to bring you. You'd better start." "Oh, all right, a hula hoop then," said Truffle, throwing away his letter. He put his new letter into an envelope and addressed it to Santa Claus, North Pole. On Christmas Eve, the mice hung their stockings up in a neat row. "I hope I get a nurse's uniform," announced Emmeline. "I'm getting a chemistry set," said George, Truffle's big brother. The little mice squeaked excitedly. They wanted teddy bears. Then all the mice went off to bed. Mother Mouse put their blanket over them and tucked them in. It wasn't a very big blanket and didn't quite cover them all. Emmeline got most of the blanket because she was the oldest. Next came George, then Truffle. But the littlest mice got none. They lay there shivering in the cold. So Truffle gave them his part of the blanket. But now he was cold. "Darn," said Truffle, as he stared out into the darkness. "I wish I'd asked for a blanket and not a hula hoop." Suddenly he sat up. "I know. I'll wait for Santa to tell him I've changed my mind." He crept out of bed and tiptoed to the mouse hole door. There he waited and waited and waited, but Santa didn't come. "I can't see here," grumbled Truffle. "I'll go outside where I can see farther. I'd better take something to eat in case I get hungry." He packed an apple core, a bread crust, and half a peanut, and off he went into the night, dragging his picnic behind him. It was very cold. As he waited for Santa Claus, Truffle got hungry. First, he ate his bread crust very slowly. Then he ate his apple core very, very slowly. Finally, he ate his peanut half very, very, very slowly. But still, Santa did not come. Truffle stood up and brushed off his whiskers. "I will go to that hill over there where I can see Santa and Santa can see me," he said firmly, and plodded off. In the woods, a fox barked and an owl hooted. A tabby cat pricked up her ears. Truffle was scared, but he trudged on and on. The clouds covered the stars. It was very dark. Truffle felt all alone and very tired. He sat down and tried to watch for Santa, but his eyes kept shutting. Softly it started to snow. Truffle fell asleep. "Now," said the fox, "before the snow covers him." "Now," said the owl, "before the fox gets him." "Now," said the tabby cat, "because I'm very, very hungry." Then, just before the fox jumped, and the owl swooped, and the cat pounced, there was a tinkling and a jingling of sleigh bells. There was a rattling and creaking of harnesses. There was a pattering and shuffling of hoofs. But Truffle was sound asleep and didn't notice a thing until a reindeer snorted in his face and woke him up. "Eek!" squeaked Truffle. "What's this?" said Santa. "A poor little mouse." Truffle shivered. "Why aren't you in bed?" asked Santa. "I came out here to find you," mumbled Truffle, still half asleep and rather muddled. "I wanted a hula hoop, but we really need a blanket." Said Santa. "I think it's time I took you home." He tucked Truffle into his pocket. And away they went, over the fox, over the owl, over the tabby cat, over the forest and hills, over the fields and bushes. Finally, they reached Truffle's home. Truffle was asleep again, so sound asleep that he didn't even stir when Santa fished him out of his pocket and returned him to the mouse hole. Santa spotted a crumpled piece of paper on the ground. He unfolded it carefully. "Dear Santa," it said in a tiny mouse letter, "I would like a hula hoop, blanket, hula hoop, blanket." "Aha," said Santa, "I see." Emmeline was the first to wake up on Christmas morning. She squealed loudly and woke up George, Truffle, and the littlest mice. They all squealed too, for not only were they lying under the reddest, warmest, coziest blanket they had ever seen, they were lying on the most beautiful bed in the whole world. And Emmeline had her nurse's uniform. George had his chemistry set. The littlest mice had all their teddies. And Truffle had his hula hoop. He smiled happily, and on his whiskers still clung a tiny bit of red fluff. Guess where that was from? The bottom of Santa's pocket. The end. Well, I hope that you like the story. Whisper and I liked the story, didn't we, Whisper? Yes. We like it because Truffles is a kind mouse, who gives up his share of the blanket to cover up the littlest mice. And even though he would like to get a hula hoop, he goes out into the cold and the dark to ask Santa for a blanket instead, because that is what the mouse family needs in the cold, cold weather. Truffles is a very considerate mouse. Don't you think so, Whisper? So I hope you all are having a fun and exciting time getting ready for Christmas. And also that you remember that it's a good time to think about what other people might need. Maybe some people might need some food so they won't be hungry. Maybe some people might need mittens to keep their hands warm and cozy in the cold weather. And maybe some people would like to get some decorated Christmas cards to make them feel loved. When we share and are kind and considerate, then we can all have a happy Christmas. So Whisper and I say, have fun getting ready for Christmas. Remember what some other people might need this time of year. And don't forget to give yourself a big hug and say, Jesus loves me. And then stretch out your arms and say, and Jesus loves everyone. Bye for now. Adios.